Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to
Let
make
me.
there it goes, the whole screen, so these two pretty ladies can show themselves well.
All right.
And we are live, Vaani. I'm going to start. For the ones who don't know me, I'm Ornella Gigante. I'm the CEO and founder of MindyCore, an edtech company made with love. And I'm right here, right now, with the amazing Vaani. Vaani for friends, but her real name, her whole name is Vanishree Koul. I don't know if I say that right. She's the
Yes.
yes. She's the founder of EVANIH. It's actually an amazing business that combines purpose, education, and social impact. And actually, here at MindyCore, we have very similar values and mission. That's the reason that we are very happy to have Vaani here with us. Actually, we are very honored to have you here, Vaani, with us. We are going to explore actually with Vaani how women entrepreneurs are reshaping industries while creating lasting change, because actually what you're doing is huge. So Vaani, please, if you can present yourself, explain a little what you're doing.
Right. Thank you, Ornella. So yes, it's a pleasure and a honor to have you to have in this particular platform. So yes, a lady, women entrepreneur in the business getting the impact. It's a very simple word, but if you look at the what we do, it's not simple. Many times, we need to change or put different hats. A mother, a wife, a boss, an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes we become a salesperson, we become a marketing person. So we need to, you know, put lot many hats. When we are at work, it is not a simple task. But when we want to get any, impact to any business, so that's becomes a kind of a, comes with our passion, comes with our, what we want to do to the society. This actually started where I come across there is a lot of gaps when it comes to the hospitality education. So that time I decided let me start this business. It's not a business, it is idea. It is something wanted to get some impact to the society, to my students, to the working professionals. So that is what we wanted to bring from this platform. Yes, when it comes to the the online education, still it is a lot of challenges. What many in India we face. People will not accept the online platform as easy as the offline. I completely agree with them. But yes, we are into the both the module. We are into the online as well as the offline mode, where we wanted to create this impact, directly to the users. That is what we are doing. Yeah. So it's been 3 years with this venture, EVANIH. So Vaani is my name. So wanted to carry forward that, the legacy or something which I'm passionate about. So that's why we have kept the name as EVANIH, where we are into the virtual learning for the hospitality. We wanted to bring, the education system changed. Self-paced learning is what we wanted to bring to the society. So that made us to come up with this platform. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, actually. So, how can you say what inspired you actually to start EVANIH? Because it's a huge project, it's a huge dream. So, what actually did inspire you?
uh, I would love to talk about my journey. I belong to a very small town from India. So in my times we didn't had that much facility to to gather about the education, the informations, what is there in the market. So that was the biggest gap I started founding those days. Then I started my journey from the airlines, then joined the hotels, and worked in the sales and marketing with top hotel brands. Then moved into the education sector. The moment I moved into the education sector, it is completely a scattered sector. If you look into the hospitality, there are many things which is missing big time. So it has not been accomplished the way it has to be. So that gap made me to start this particular platform, where I can get all those elements into our platform and put it to the end users. that made us to come up with this particular platform. With my experience from the as a industry professional to the an academician, so both the experience have merged, and with the help of both the experience, I was able to come up with this kind of a platform where wanted to fill up a gap between the industry and academia. So that was the whole idea to come up with this EVANI platform.
That's actually amazing. We are talking about actually a whole process of empathy. You feel empathy to the customer. You feel empathy actually for the people that has to learn to serve. It's amazing.
Right.
You actually look at the whole funnel. You look at the pain point and you try to solve it. And I'm actually very sure that you solve it at some point. It's like EVANI is doing actually great. And MindyCore actually, no, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's like, again, we are so syncing so many things. I admire your work. I told you that actually Vaani and I meet on LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually gave me so many amazing people like you, such a beautiful community. And I have been seeing I have seen your work from afar and now very close. Again, it's like at MindyCore, we do the same. We talk about the importance of empowering people to learn and grow. It's like we are very sync. The academic work that you're taking in EVANI is amazing. It's actually very inspiring. I know that a lot of people maybe told you that before, but it's like you are doing great. You are going to different countries as well, different continents. You told me that on April you are going to be in the USA. It's a huge jump. Yeah. Maybe you can talk a little about it.
Thank you. Okay. Yes. Our main focus is to reach the global also, because we see it's not only in India. There is entire global has this biggest gap when it comes to the hospitality, right? So for that, we are reaching out to the different university where we can collaborate with the university globally and start helping the end users to get to add value to their whatever they enroll for their studies, for their profile building. So for that reasons, we are trying to reaching out to the various global universities. Plus, we also wanted to have kind of we are into two segments. If I want to talk about my particular platform. See, in any industry, so there are a bunch of learners are job seekers. There are few, the new generations are the job creators. Now, even in India, so there is a lot of support is being given for the job creators, because they're coming up with a different idea. There are a lot of startups are coming. So we are into two space. One is the job creator who are already into the job roles where they can upskill and reskill their knowledge. At the same time, when it comes to the job creator, so we help them in the ideation stage and to go to market, and we take them to the boot camps. We organize a boot camps. In 2025, we had organized the campus to start up a boot camp in the month of August. So that went on very successfully. So where we had startup ideas from the different universities. So they have showcased their, in a different, tech, in a food tech or in the laundry. So in a different startup. So that went on very well. So this year also we are planning to have in the month of August, where we will again conduct a boot camp where we invite all the mentors plus the job creators who are coming up with the ideation. So that is what we will be doing in 2026. So that also is helping the students to choose their career, whether you want to be a job seeker or a job creator. So we have both the verticals we work with in our platform. Yeah.
That's actually amazing. The startup concept that you're working on with the bootcamps and everything is very important, because I remember that you said last year very specifically, and it's true that a lot of people think that a startup is always tech. It doesn't have to be tech, right? It's like I suppose that you have been facing this a lot of times with your mentees, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So actually, it's beautiful what you're doing. Not only for the shop creators, but for the shop seekers. You're actually taking the whole funnel, and that's actually something beautiful for real. It's like, Wow, it's like another thing that I want to say that is actually something that a lot of people will say, but empowerment, women in entrepreneurship, yeah, whatever, but it's a big deal. It is a big deal. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but it's a big deal because it's not easy. What you're doing is not easy.
right,
It's like,
right.
so maybe you can talk a little about that because actually you are an example for a lot of women, not only in India, but in the world, actually. How do you feel about
Thank
it?
you.
No, thank you for being here and for all the effort that you're doing because actually you are showing an image. You are exposing
Yeah.
yourself, your work every day, and it's like at the end of the day, you are an inspiration for more women as well. It's like I suppose that at some point
And
it's
also,
difficult.
and
I
also same
empathize.
thing goes to you also, Ornella. What you're doing is something very
Thank
great.
you.
Last time also, I had an interaction with my students that went on really amazing. I remember. So I think that was in the month of November, if I'm not wrong. So I have invited you as a guest. So that really went on very well on, the ideation on the startup. So what you spoke about. So I still have those, the video recording and the slides which we have put up in our platform. If you see,
Thank
it's
you.
in gallery. So you are there in our platform.
Oh
Yes, very
my
much.
god! Thank
Yes.
you so much, and thank you so much for that time.
Yeah.
Actually, you were one of my first webinars, and it was amazing, a beautiful experience. Your
Yeah.
students are
Yeah.
amazing, and you're amazing as well. It's like we admire each other, and this
Right.
is beautiful. You know, it's like one thing that I don't
Yeah.
do that I have to give you credit is like you're a wife. You're a housewife, you're an entrepreneur, you are a boss. It's a lot of things. How do you do
Yeah.
to do the balance on the roles? It's like how do you
Correct.
do that?
Yes. So balancing is very important because most of the things goes haywire. Because you are busy with your work, there are at times you need to spend time with your family also.
Oof, yeah.
So in that case, it has happened with me. So but yes, again, we just have to give a pause for some time, then go back. Okay, everything is fine, then come back to your work and please, and keep on doing it. Yeah,
Wow.
I think, this has happened at many times, but yes, this is a life. It is a, this is how the life cycle goes with all the women.
This is many
So
lives
yeah, so we
actually.
should, yeah, we should accept the way it should, welcome our life cycle. So that's how you will be successful in your life. It's what I believe. So yeah,
It's
be
incredible.
patient is very important. They have to be very patient in business, right? Then there are times when there is you don't see anything coming in, so you really goes in a off mood. In that case, you really have to be peaceful, work on what is incorrect, try to make it correct. So that is what even I learned from my husband, because he's an amazing mentor for me. Because whatever comes, end of the day, I go to him. I said, oh, so this is a problem which I'm facing. They said, so Sunil, just help me. Then he comes up with a solution. So I just try to uh, uh, find that solution and try to apply and implement that. That has really worked with me many times. Yes, even today. So
Wow,
I do that. Yeah,
that's
he is a
amazing.
great mentor for me in this particular business space. Yeah.
You are a team. Actually, you are an
Yes,
amazing
we work
team.
as a team. Yes, we both work as a team. Yes, he is more than a husband. He's my friend. So mentor also, I can say, in other word, when it comes to the business in a professional life. Yes, yes, that's important at times, because you need somebody who guides you, who takes you, teaches you this is right, this is wrong. Because what happens if we are alone, so we think whatever is right. So there
It's
has
so
to be
true.
someone who comes and tells, no, this may not be the right one. Why don't you try this way? So I do that. Yes.
It happens. You are
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
everything, and it's true. It's true. You need somebody that look at what you're doing from the outside.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very very important and very true. And I love the dynamic that you have with your husband and everything because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
he's your support, your emotional support.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like
He's a great support for me. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yes.
Is there maybe any advice, Pani, that you can give to women that want to be entrepreneurs? What would be the first
Okay.
thing that I would tell them?
Okay. The first thing is, as a woman, so when we start our entrepreneurship journey, so there are a lot of hurdles will be there. Hurdles comes in and out. So in that case, it is very important to have patience. Is very important. Learn as much as you can. because the learning journey will actually takes you in a very different level, because you need to fulfill many things in your journey. It's not only focusing on the business. You need to get update yourself, which is very very important when you are entering into any business. So how the market is, market growth, and connection is very important. If you have a good connect in the market with the people, that actually helps you to grow your business, to reach out to a larger audience, is what I believe. Even I do the same thing. For me, connection is very important. Today I may not be doing in a $1 million amount, but yes, with the help of connection, tomorrow definitely I will reach out to that number, is what I believe. As a single woman, there are times, there people will not accept you, but I believe in a very strong way, you as a woman, you have that power to get the things done in a very smooth way, better than a I'm not criticizing a man, but when it comes to the women, they actually balance the things
Yeah.
step by step. So my advice to a women entrepreneur is, patience is very important. Upskill yourself, and connection also helps you to grow in your business. So these are the three major things which you need to look into. And definitely, down the line, the business will definitely, take the step and, start growing and making profit. So this is what even I apply the same formula to my the current business, and whatever the business space I'm into. Yeah, this is what I want to do,
No,
share.
no, that's amazing, actually. So we're talking about being patient. I see that you say that a
Yeah,
lot of times, and it's true that it's a good pillar. Be patient, to learn. Be
yeah.
humble enough to keep learning every day. Even if you're a boss, you're learning, and that's true. I can, from my side,
True,
say the
true.
same. I empathize. And the networking.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that
yeah.
you should talk about that, because since I begin, for example, MindyCore, a lot of people were saying it's like, oh, networking is horrible. I don't want to do networking first. Networking is life.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to
Yeah,
sell your
yeah.
product to yourself? You need to sell to other
Correct.
people, right? So you need to talk. And
Right,
then
right.
it's true, networking is very important. I don't have percentage, but from my side, I can say
Mm-hmm.
that, for example, networking is more than a half of the shop, and then it's the product that
Correct.
you have to sell. But at the end
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
day, when they buy something from you, they think about you. They think about the person that is giving this service, because it's a service.
Correct, correct.
So that is actually very true. And to learn every day is like, I know so many people, and with my own mentees as well. It's like the journey never ends. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
if you go from one chair to another high chair or another hierarchy on any company. You always have to
Mm-hmm.
learn, and not only to be humble, but
Yeah,
to make your company survive, because actually what you're doing right now in 5 years is going to be different. So if you don't learn, you're not going to adapt to the market. So
absolutely. Yes,
everything
yes.
is connected. Everything is
Correct,
connected. So
correct.
actually it's very interesting. I have a lot of friends in India, and actually some of them were very,
Wow.
yes, some of them were expecting this this coffee chat.
Oh,
So
lovely. Okay.
yeah, I'm actually very happy to have you here. Can you, I
Pleasure.
don't know, talk about an experience in which you have learned something that is like, it was like an epiphany for you, or that is with you until today, something that, I don't know, shake your world in your project while you were with Evani?
Uh, okay. So if I were to talk about the funniest part, is whenever I go out on a calls or something. So there are at times, uh, the moment they hear the the virtual learning and all, so the people are not much of familiar, I can say, or acceptable things is not happened. And the worst part which I have faced during this journey is, there are many companies and the hotels, when we give any offers, so they don't revert back. So that's really create a lot of hamper, because I being into the sales, I know how the structure works, and I'm a very good follow up person. I make sure I do the follow up, whether till the end, whether the business closes in a positive way or the negative way. But even the people should understand in this business space, if they are taking any offer from anyone, I'm sure that must have happened with you also, with many of the business module. Whenever I offer any business to any hotels, so they don't revert back, that actually helps back us, when we enter all the business into the books, that doesn't get convert or any positive, that really I think that mentality should change. Even though they are the top hotels or the top institution, that they should stop. So the moment they stop doing so, that also shows how systematic the people are. Even in
That's so
today's
true.
date, if somebody approach me, so I make sure I take time to reply them. That's the way I work. I respect people time. I think the same way, even many of us should start doing that. Respect your time is very important, because time is money today, right?
Time is, yeah, of
That's
course.
really, yeah, the time is money. So many a times, that was the worst what I have faced. They don't revert back, they just take a proposal and they just sleep with the proposal. So they don't revert back. So in business, that should not happen, thinking that the lady is running the business, so we can take it into granted. So that is also the mentality which I have faced, Ornella,
Yeah.
many a times. But I, being a very strong lady, I do the follow up till whether it is closing or not closing. That's absolutely fine. If it is closing, I'll happily work with you. If it is not closing, I'll shake hands and I'll say thank you. That's it. That's a very simple way of doing business. That's how you need to do. So this is what the experience. The funniest is waiting for an hour's time in having 2-3 cups of coffee. I get irritated, but means it's almost an hour. The people make you wait. They don't respect your time. So at times there are many things happens when you're out in the market. So yeah.
Yeah. People think that you can be for them the whole day, and they forget that this
Yes,
is
yes,
a
yes. That,
business.
yeah, that mentality the people should stop. I
Yeah.
have experienced this with a few hotels, which they made us to wait for an hour, thinking that they are very busy, we are not busy. But for me, time is important. So if anybody is giving me the specific time, I prefer to meet them and discuss them, so find a solution to their business and close the business. I think this is a very, very formal way. I think that is missing. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think that you're right. And sadly, I can say that this happens in the whole world because we have been empowering this concept of the client is always right. And no,
Yeah.
the client not all the times is right. And this is not just to make, to say something bad about the client or anything. It's like we are people from one
No,
side and to the
absolutely.
other
Yes.
side.
Yes.
So I
Yep.
think that you're totally right. And regarding the time, this is something that I think that a lot of companies, you, me, much more, right? It's like when you have to do the pricing, it's like, but what are you,
Yeah.
what is this cost? Because it's my time too. But I don't see that, but it's with my time that I can make the
Yeah.
service to you. Time is money as well. Time is respect.
Correct.
Time is value,
Yes.
and time is money.
Absolutely. Yes.
So guys,
Yes.
please respect that. It's like respect people's time. Don't let people
Yes.
wait 1 hour in the lobby. On don't make people wait for 1 week for, I don't know, a document or something. Just say no, yes, and let, I don't know, have the
Just
party in
close it.
peace, right?
Yes. 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 Absolutely. So if we are working together, so most welcome. If you're not, we'll join the hand. Say thank you. That's it. So this
Yeah.
has to be a very this is how the business should work. But yes, things will move on. So I think we can probably convey this message to the whoever is listening to this channel.
Yeah.
The way of thinking, approaching them. So at least something changes we can see with the help of this. The conversation. Thank you, Ornella, for organizing this. At least
Uh,
through this I can convey my message, what it was there in my mind, to the end users, whoever will listen to this the conversation in
Usually the
future. Or
community look at the recordings a lot. Let me see
okay.
the chat, but yes, usually
Yeah.
here in Spain is 2 p.m. and here in Spain this
Mhm.
hour is not very common for streamings, but the recordings
Mhm.
have been watched. The community actually, yeah, they always respond. I have a lot of people waiting for this actually because Yeah, because actually you are an empowered woman in India that has her own business, and that's a lot. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
true,
So
true.
I'm not going
Right,
to take off the merit because actually it's a lot considering the social circumstances and everything. It's like you're a very strong
right.
woman, a strong person and a strong woman in a society that is a patriarch society.
Yeah,
So in
yeah.
Latin America happens a lot as well. So I totally empathize. So you're doing
Mm-hmm.
great. I wanted to ask you this for a while because actually you are so embedded in the entrepreneurship, and I see that you are still saying your mentees and everything. It's like, what moment made you realize actually that entrepreneurship could be a force of impact? In which moment you passed
Okay.
from serve to be the one making the business?
All right. So, how this came into my mind,
Hmm.
because I don't know, you must have heard the Shark Tank. There used to be one of the show in America,
Yes.
the global Shark Tank. So now India also started the Shark Tank. So we are me and my husband, we are the followers of the Shark Tank. So the moment, the time we started following the Shark Tank, I have seen many of the, engineers coming up with the food technology. They're coming up in the food business. They're coming up into the one which is related to the hospitality. But at the same time, so if I go back and see the hospitality, the graduates, so they are being taught only the job seekers, but that has been never spoken about. You can also become an entrepreneur, because that's a very, very, new concept in India. For an hospitality graduate, you also can become an entrepreneur. That never been spoken. So we are the first company who implemented this entrepreneurship programs. Then now there is, I can say, the 5 to 6%. There is a kind of an awareness, spreading out. Even the hotel management graduate can become an entrepreneur in today's date. It's not only the you finish your graduation for 4 years, 3 years, then go and work in the hotels. No, so you also can have your own business. So how you can have your own business is what we have come up with an idea as in the campus to startup. That's why we have named the program name is campus to startup. You can start from your campus when you're in undergraduate graduation time, then you can start your startup.
That's
So that's
amazing.
the name came for this particular program. So I want the hospitality students to come up with a new idea into food technology, into restaurant business, into cafe business, which is missing big time. I can say only 1 or 2%, the graduates who are entering into the business. So with the help of this, I don't know how long I will going to take this particular entrepreneurship, how big I'll be making, but with the help of this, at least kind of an awareness is what's spreading in the market.
It's
Yes,
the
even you
beginning.
can
It's the
become
spark.
an entrepreneur. Yes, that made me to invite you for that particular webinar, so for our entrepreneurship program. Yes, because
That's
you
amazing.
are a entrepreneur, women entrepreneur. Great, you're doing absolutely
Thank you.
amazing, right? Single-handed, single directors, working all the ways
Actually,
to
yes.
build your company. Yes, so you are the best example for that particular webinar. So
Thank you so
that made me
much.
to invite you.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you. Thank you. And actually, I have a lot of people asking me now that we are touching the subject. How did you make a
Uh-huh.
company with so? Because I started from zero. I started with zero revenue,
Yes.
zero
Yes.
money, and everything. There is a concept on a
Mm.
startup, and I know that you know this, Vaani, because I have seen your amazing webinars as well. That a lot of people think that for a startup you need to have money. You don't need to have
Yes. Yes.
money. The concept of the people that it needs to have a garage to make an startup and I don't know have 10,000 euros or dollars to start something. That is an old
Mm-hmm.
concept that comes from a traditional business.
Yeah.
I, for example, my startup is based on the Lean methodology. The Lean methodology is gone by milestones, and actually, you
Mm-hmm.
start with one milestone from zero. You have a target, you have a milestone, you finish that, you got some money, and from the money that you got from the first milestone, you continue
Okay.
and escalate the business. So it's possible
Right.
for everyone, actually. And I
Yes.
actually love
Yes.
that you're doing this and you teach the people that to dream, not to follow others'
Yeah.
dreams, to dream by themselves.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
That's a full effort which we are trying to create an awareness. yes, things are moving now. We'll see this 2026 and the coming years how things will shape into in terms of awareness, in terms of helping the students, joining with them, taking the enrollment. So yeah, so there is an effort towards that.
And you're moving from one continent to another. You're doing a lot of things. So I'm totally sure that you're going to do amazing next year. You're doing amazing now, but you're going to do better next year. I believe in karma.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, all the good things that you're doing have to come back.
Yes.
So
yes. Thank you.
Vaani, it was actually amazing to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. Mindy Fam community, I'm going to leave in the description of this video all the information of Vaani, her platform. Vaani, if you can share with me a link or something regarding the bootcamp so I can share to the community and they can check out the video. Yep. Everyone can be on this bootcamp. They don't have to be from India. As Vaani said before, this is worldwide. So everybody is absolutely welcome. Her platform is in different languages. Actually, I'm going to test with her. Thank you. I got it. I'm going to add it after the direct. And actually, this is for everyone who has a dream, for everyone who wants to learn more with EVANIH, to learn more about the startups, to build something from themselves. You're in the right place, okay? So go and check her out. She's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. To the moon and beyond. I'm going to check what you're doing from close, actually.
Right. Thank you, Ornella. So it was really a pleasure to, have to with, discussing with you so many points. It was really, come up with a lot of points. Thank you so much for inviting me for this coffee chat. And I'm sure, whoever will watch this, they will take away some other things if they're women entrepreneurs. So yeah, even there are a lot of things even I learned from you, the way, the energy, the way you do, the way the follow up, the way that you conduct the event. That's really amazing. So thank you so much for this event.
Thank you, Vaani. Thank you for being here. Mindy Fam, follow her, follow EVANIH, check out the website and the platform, all the amazing things that she's doing. See you soon. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ornella. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Okay.